Hi, Catherine.
No.
Okay.
Another second year. All right, all set.
Okay. This is the June 11th meeting of the Master Plan Implementation Committee. My name is Rick Leaf. I'm chair of the Master Plan Implementation Committee. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law on March 28th, 2025. This meeting will be conducted via remote participation. Members of the public will not be permitted to speak, but the URL for the Zoom can be found in the agenda that was posted prior to the meeting, as can the live stream link to YouTube also be found in the agenda that was posted prior to this meeting. Having said that, we can now take attendance. Jonathan Ray. Didn't see him in the list. Amy Paretsky. Millie Milton.
Here.
Leslie Harrison.
Here.
Paul Cacciatore.
Here.
Fran Baxter.
Here.
Let me see if I got a message.
Jean Kennedy.
Let's just see.
I saw Jean before.
He's
Here.
muted.
Okay. Rick Leaf is here. Jen Tolman. I don't see her on the list.
She's
And-
coming.
And Judy Boyle.
Here.
Okay. First item on the agenda tonight is an update from Lori on what's going on with the Blake Pierce Streetscape Improvement Project. So go ahead, Lori.
All right. So we did execute a contract with BR Back. It took us a little while to get everything that was necessary and required by CSX for us to get the permit. And finally, that information was submitted earlier this week. So I do anticipate getting the permit from CSX within the next 2 weeks. BR Back is planning on beginning the construction later on in the summer. Did talk about the September timeframe. Absolutely. I mentioned the fact that there's Apple Fest and that I didn't want to see any construction on Blake Street until after the Apple Fest is over. So they did agree to that. So we are moving right along. And I do anticipate that they will beat the construction deadline of December 2026. So that's pretty exciting. Of course, the bad news is that the CPC project was not approved at town meeting. So those of you who attended, it was a 79-79 vote. So we needed one more vote in order to advance. So that was super disappointing. So that project is on hold. There was some money that I had set aside to pay for the final construction drawings because we were at the 75% design phase for that project. So I wanted to wait to see what happened before we finished it up and did the bid documents. So I had set aside $22,000 of ARPA funds to complete that project. So I did have a conversation with the finance director and the town administrator about what we should do now, because of course those funds were allocated specifically for the beta group. And of course they expire December 31st. So do we just want to have that money expire, or do we want to complete the design in hopes that it will be constructed in the future? So the decision was made to wait until August and have that conversation at that time. So we're kind of in a holding pattern at this point. And so that's kind of where things stand.
I have a question, Lori.
Yeah, sure.
So, in the last Parks and Recs meeting we just had this past week, um, there was a group that came before us regarding the statue that they would like.
Yes. Yeah, I can
And
give you an update on that. So I did attend the select board meeting on Monday night where they made the final decision. So there is the Dancing Apples statue. I don't know if folks have heard about that, but it is a rather large statue. I believe it's like 13 feet
by
tall.
11, 13 by 11.
Yeah. Um, so I did meet at Blake Street Park to talk with one of the committee members to talk about locations. They do also have an apple that they want to put at the park. And so it's like a painted apple. And then the statue. So the preference was to put the statue at the common, but there was some pushback with putting it there. So as an alternative, they looked at the Blake Street property, and where they decided that they wanted to put it was where the flagpole was, which of course that was dedicated in memory of the fallen Vietnam soldier.
Yeah.
So that was a concern. Ultimately, the selectmen voted, I think it was 4-1, to have the statue placed at the common. So it's my understanding that that's where it's going. The Apple location that we talked about, and of course, you know, I'm not the final authority on that. So they were asking me, they were asking Scott Charpentier, the DPW director, what he thought.
Yeah, I can give you some background because there were some people in our meeting on Tuesday, um, from the council, from the town, common committee. The names are escaping me, but, um, Scott was not present at our, recreation meeting on Tuesday evening. Um, and we had some questions for him regarding where the placement would be potentially on town common, with respect to where the proposed area is right now, is in front of a tree towards the back of the common. We also have to consider that the Ellsworth tree that was that is in the pocket park, excuse me, needs to be moved. My understanding is the agreement was to move that to town common because of the size and scope of the tree.
Yeah,
Um,
the final location for the tree has not been identified. So I know that the committee, the cultural committee,
yes.
had chosen a location which coincided with where the statue would go. I know Scott and I had some concerns about that location because it was like over 100 feet from the outlet. So there's like no electricity to that location. And, you know, I had concerns about having extension cords that would go over 100 feet. So I don't think that the final location of the tree has been determined at this point.
No, but we wanted to at least think about that on placement. Um, right now, that piece of artwork is set pretty far from the road.
Right.
And so if they're trying to make this the symbol of Northborough, in my opinion, and that's what was, you know, presented, I think I think we need to look at alternative places. Um, and one thought we had as a board, and it was in committee, it was just talking, but I'd like to share it with all of you, is Assabet Park, um, sort of at the top of the hill, where that sort of nice, beautiful, nice park is now. That's filled every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then when you turn the corner onto South Street, you certainly could see it from the road, from 135. In addition to that, um, that parking lot needs to be redone at some point. Um, and I know there's some concerns about ADA and accessibility. Um, so we're talking about a few things. We're meeting with Scott next week, the Park and Recs committee, to talk about um, ADA compliance, talk about, is this truly the right place for it? We're concerned about the root system of the existing tree that's there now. Because you do have to build a foundation around this thing. It's heavy and it's big.
Mhm.
So we felt uncomfortable as a Park and Recs board to make any recommendation at our last meeting without speaking to Scott. So that's going to happen next Thursday. And um, after we get some more information, we didn't feel like we had enough information we understand what the select board, wanted. Um, but we have some concerns about the town common. We have another memorial going in there already,
Mhm.
the 250 memorial. Um, and so, we're just concerned that we want that open space. It was designed to be an open space for the community. As we start adding things to the common, then you start to infringe on the space that we created for open space, right? So we just want to be mindful of where it's presented, and looked at as a whole. If this is going to truly be our symbol, I just don't think 150 feet back in the common is any visible. Like visibility is pretty much nothing from the road. Um, and so I get when we have events there, but how many events do we have at the Common currently?
Mhm.
Right? Farmers Market, few others. But it's not visited every single day like Assabet Park. Um, and to me, that makes a lot of sense. To be at a place that people are there all the time. But anyway, I just wanted to update this board that we need more information to make our recommendation, and that's going to happen next week.
All right. I think I appreciate the update. Um, it's kind of outside of the agenda we're working on tonight, so I think based
Apologize,
on
Rick, for that,
yeah,
but I felt it was important to mention.
I think so. So Paul, I think if you can work with DPW director and Lori, and then see what makes the most sense, kind of thing.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Um, anything else on the first item, Lori?
Nope, that's it.
Let's move on to street tree planting then.
Yeah, so that ended up going well. It was a little bit of
Mm.
turmoil at the end because when we ordered the trees and the DPW picked them up, they were gargantuan. So I had ordered 32 trees that I anticipated being in 15-gallon tubs. And nine of them were of that size, and then the remaining 22 were like 450 pounds. They were like gigantic, gigantic. So I ended up having to return those to Bigelow's and then run around to Lowe's, Home Depot, I got a bunch of trees at Peralt's in Grafton. But it all ended up coming out okay. Then on the Saturday morning, the street tree planting, it was raining and cold. So
Oh,
that was
no.
another worry that my volunteers wouldn't show up, but they were fantastic. The volunteers showed up. They got the trees planted in record time. So I did learn that rain is helpful for expediting the planting process. And so all 32 trees went in the ground. And so I'm very grateful to the volunteers for their hard work, and happy to say that a number of them, we ended up planting 5 trees at the burial ground, the historic burial ground. A couple at the Trinity Church. We had some downtown business properties that were able to get trees, as well as residents. So I think overall it ended up being successful. We still are planning a street tree volunteer effort this fall. So I have about $14,000 left. So far to date, we've planted 59 trees.
Wow.
So my goal is with the volunteers to plant over 100. And the schools are interested. So then I also plan on hiring a professional landscaper, because of course the funds end up expiring the end of December. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do 3 more volunteer planting days in the fall. So I think we're going to need some professional help. So there are some municipal properties that we've targeted, that I've worked with Scott Charpentier to identify. And so we will be doing some of the trees. Actually, a couple of the trees are going to go on the side of 4 West Main. So that was part of the Blake Street project. Then we have another tree that's going to go in the grass strip in front of 31 Blake. And then we have 2 trees that are going to go in the War Memorial Park on Pierce Street. So we are using these funds to pay for the trees that the Complete Streets program wasn't going to pay for, that are part of the Blake and Pierce Street project. And then there are other municipal properties that are going to have trees, as well as one more volunteer effort where we can place trees on private property.
Excellent. This is a wonderful job you guys are doing, especially what you had to go through to get the right trees this time. I can't believe that Bigelow sent some of the wrong trees.
Yeah, what happened? Where was the disconnect on that?
They didn't have any more small trees.
Oh, wow.
So we had used up the vast majority of their supply in October. So in October, they had given us 27 of the size that I was seeking this time. And so we pretty much took their total supply between fall and the spring planting.
All right, well, keep us informed of what's going on there and when the next dates are for the next round of planting. But I like the idea too of getting some trees around 4 West Main and on Blake and Pierce. That will help the appearance of all of that outside of what we couldn't do with the Blake Street Park Improvement Project. So any other comments or questions about tree planting before we move on to our master plan matrix updates? Hearing none, we're just going to keep, as we've been doing, trying to move through section by section here, the plan until we finally have everything updated. And then eventually when that's complete, I'll draft an update memo to the select board summarizing the status of all of these different sections, but we'll do that once we've gone through all the updates. So we're going to start with natural, cultural, historic. recommendations, as we've been doing, we'll just sort of take them one by one,
Mhm.
see what the current status is, see if we have any changes or comments. If not, we'll just keep moving down the list and we'll see how far we get. Tonight, I'm not sure we can get through. This is the largest section we have left. Public services and transportation is smaller, so we'll just see how far we get. So, NCH 11, continue to explore adding permanent protections to all town open spaces. Ongoing status, which is probably the right status. Not sure there's anything more to add there. Does anybody have any comments or changes to NCH 11? I think that's just going to be a continuing, ongoing effort to do that. 1.2, continue supporting existing local farmland and promote conservation restrictions, agricultural preservation restrictions, and mean to protect town's agricultural resources. So we're still waiting for an open space committee update on this. Leslie, you know anything about this?
Sorry. No, not really. Yeah, it's just sort of an ongoing process.
Yeah. Maybe you could bring this item back to the next open space meeting and see if there's any further status update they want to add to this particular one, or just basically it's going to be continuing to be as the description of the task states. Is just a continual
Right.
effort to do this. But why don't you just bring that up at the next open space committee meeting, see if there's anything they'd like to add to the status of that one.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, moving on to 1.3, evaluate the removal of obsolete dams in order to facilitate habitat restoration and waterfront access.
So I did add the red text.
Yep.
So the $250,000 that was allocated at town meeting for the reservoir dam compliance work and the removal of the dam. And then I put in some historical data about that.
Okay. Yeah, that was definitely the thing that came before town meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
can-
sure. Go
I
ahead.
can make that black now. I just wanted to make it red, so I call your attention to it.
And Lori, can I just ask on the dam, DPW anticipates applying for additional funding, or I thought they already had some, they got ours, now they have to ask for more funding from the state?
So it was my understanding, so I did Google it so I could see if there was a newspaper article. And I did find an article in the Community Advocate that said that he was applying for a grant.
Okay, thanks.
So this amount that was allocated at town meeting was just the mandatory match.
So at this point, until we get the balance of the funding, we can't put an estimated target date as to when this is going to happen yet. It's still dependent on when the state comes through with their part of the money.
Correct.
Okay. That's something we should keep an eye on, Lori. If you become aware of the fact that the state has provided the funding, maybe we can add to this an update as to a projected target date for completion, but I guess it's too soon to put that in right now.
Rick, I do know, I actually spoke with Josh the other day at the DPW because my husband wants to fish it before the dam is removed. And he
Okay.
said that it would probably be in the fall, by the time all their ducks are in a row to get it completed.
Okay. Did you get this update? Do you try this itself, Laura? Did you get this update from Scott?
No, I remembered that there was this article in the town meeting warrant.
Right.
And so then I just Googled. The newspaper article was from a couple of months ago.
Right.
So I'm not sure what the deadline was. I did get some of the other updates directly from him, but not this one.
Okay. So maybe when you get back from your vacation, you could circle back with him and see if he's ready to put a projected target date on this yet or not.
I will make this red to remind me.
Okay.
Oh. Must be in, oh, there we go.
Okay, 1.4, improve accessibility to information regarding resource protection efforts, successes, and community benefits. It's another ongoing one. Seasonal updates to the website. Any changes or any other comments on that one? That looks pretty good. Moving on to 1.5, potential to increase protection of local floodplains, wetlands, water resources to preserve natural resources, provide hazard mitigation. So these are changes made to the floodplain bylaw, stormwater management bylaw. 1.6, where are we? 2.1, historic preservation plan for the town of Northborough.
So that was completed. So we haven't, basically right now we're just following that as some of our goals and guidelines.
Good. Okay. It's good to have that one knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
2.2, promote awareness of Northborough's history by publishing, facilitating publication of articles in local papers, social media, da-da-da.
So I think I should update that one. I don't know if things like the monuments and statues and plaques that way should be included in that one, because we have done that in certain areas, but also supported some CPC projects, and we're doing Revolution 250. We're supporting that, so I don't really know if that should be. I guess I didn't know if monuments would fit in that.
I believe that there's something further on having to do with the monuments.
Okay, there probably is, but I just wasn't sure if yeah. Okay.
Yeah, definitely the Revolution 250 festivities is a good update that should go in there.
Yep. On maybe supporting CPC projects, letters of support, or actually the project on the Historic Society building or the church steeple, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
CPA projects, not CPC.
Oh, thank you. I should know that. You're right.
Rick typed it too, so you're both culpable.
There we go. I think it says that. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I will update that with the 250 and CPC projects. I actually wrote
Right.
CPC
I've
projects.
been updating as you're talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
where did you go?
So it's you,
So
Lori.
if you want me to change the language, make it prettier.
Just change CPC to CPA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I think as we're going along here, if we've got updates, Lori can just put them in as we're going.
Oh, great.
And
Perfect.
after the fact, if you think of anything else, you can contact her and she can make subsequent updates. But this looks good.
Magical.
2-3, protection of antique properties, which include building structures, documents, artifacts, landscapes.
Again, that's sort of an ongoing thing. We're always looking to find out the properties that are going for sale, maybe reaching out to the owners to see if they're interested in either preserving their properties, the new owners, things like that. Yeah.
We also want to add that the CPA funded the window replacements in the historical society building as something that's been accomplished.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Thank you, Fran, because that again could go there, or it might have gone. Yeah, that's a good place for it, I think.
Oh, geez.
2-4, historic assets inventory to include additional resource types, time periods, geographical locations, utilize expend inventory to identify additional assets for protection.
So one of the things we're looking for is to, and I'm not going to say it's yet initiated because I'm not really sure where to start on this one, but it's the looking to increase our macros inventory, but also include things like stone walls. Not stone wall scenic roads, but certain aspects of stone walls. So I'm looking for some help on how to do that. So I can't really say it's initiated, but we're pre-initiating it.
It's Macris, M-A-C-R-I-S.
Mm-hmm.
MACRAS.
M-A-C-R-I-S.
MACRIS.
Yeah, so we're looking at, possibly even time periods. It hasn't been discussed yet. We have a lot of different things that I'm hoping to bring up to the HDC in the next meeting next week. Yeah.
Are you talking about a stone wall inventory, or what about the stone walls?
So I think that we have some pretty unique features in Northborough. The beehive end caps that are on the western property, and there's several of them actually throughout, sort of sprinkled throughout different parts of Northborough that are pretty unique. And there is a movement to actually begin to investigate and really appreciate the stone wall aspects of our New England heritage.
Great.
Okay. Moving down to 3-1. Short and long-term planning goals for properties such as White Cliffs, Westboro State Hospital, 13 Church Street. Is 13 Church Street now 1 Church Street?
It is.
Yep.
Yep.
Boundary Street, 4 West Main Street, Old Town Hall. So, yeah, there's a lot's been going on.
Right. Yeah.
Let's just see what you've got in here now. White Cliffs Committee was engaged. Took up an authorized by 2 meeting. The town is found for a long-term lease property with an option to buy or get banquets. We restore the historic building, construct a new addition, transfer property back to event venue. Town will also do a TIF with local banquets.
Was there anything from the town meeting that we would include as an update, or no? Because didn't we pass some things that would?
It says authorized by 226 annual town meeting.
Oh, you did. Okay, I'm sorry.
Lori, do we know what the status of the Westboro State Hospital? I know they auctioned it off, but did anybody actually bid on it?
Mm.
Yes, so there's a local property owner, so he owns a business in Northborough already. He ended up purchasing the property, and apparently 2 weeks ago, they did some test pits. So they must be designing something, but that individual has still not contacted me. So I have no idea what their plans are.
But we know that there's going to be a minimum density of 4 units per acre on that property once something gets proposed. That was the deal that the state demanded. So we'll just have to see what they propose. Boundary Street, construction complete on 2 acre Northborough, only show park design, construction, partner with Habitat. It was going to be a 6-unit development, not an 8, Lori.
Oh, okay, I'll fix that.
Not that it's going anywhere, but it was going to be 6 units. Church was sold to a local developer. Wonder who that is.
I'm developer. Wow, I didn't realize that was it. Yeah.
Well, if you develop land, then you are a developer.
Apparently.
Right, can I just ask, just because of the wording, the line that says the Northborough Affordable Housing Corporation partnered with Habitat for Humanities on plans to develop an 6-unit affordable housing at the site, what site?
I don't know. So on Boundary Street,
Boundary.
Okay,
On
so,
the-
so
on
we're
the
still
east-
still talking
on-
about Boundary Street, okay.
yeah, on the easterly side of the Boundary Street property, the opposite side of there were a couple of acres available unused, and so we proposed doing a affordable housing project there, but all the abutting neighbors came out and made such a stink about it. The select board refused to put a warrant article on there for this year to ask the town to approve the donation of that to a not-for-profit developer for affordable housing. So it continues to sit as unused acreage.
All right, well, she's adding the word Boundary Street, so that makes sense. Thank you.
And you would change develop N8 to develop A6, small, grammatical.
Yeah, you're right.
So I saw there's going to be a ZBA site visit to 1 Church Street tomorrow, Millie.
Yep,
What's
anybody's
gonna
welcome.
what's going to happen tomorrow with that site visit? They're just going to walk around and look at the property?
As far as I know, yeah, trying to just gauge where the things, some of the buildings will be sited. There is spray paint going on down there somewhere, and entrances, exits, and sort of that layout of where things will be.
Okay. And the plan is you're still on the agenda for June 23rd to have an initial review of the project?
Yep.
Okay. Well, a lot has happened with this particular item.
Mm-hmm.
The White Cliffs looks like it's going to have a good conclusion to it. We have no idea what's going on at the Westboro State Hospital. The thing I think that from a housing perspective, we're mainly concerned about is, we now have inclusionary zoning in the bylaws. So it's our assumption that given the fact there are going to be more than 10 units on that property, there's going to have to be whatever the required minimum affordable units are. We'll just have to see once this person gets ready to go for permitting that they're presenting a project that is a proper number of affordable units.
Mm.
That's the big interest of the Northborough Affordable Housing Corporation, is to make sure that project conforms to the zoning that was put in place at town meeting in 2025.
Yep.
Lori, do we know how much they paid for it?
I did know, but I forget. It's been a long
Just-
time since I looked at the deed.
Right, well, I'm just wondering if they didn't pay much, maybe there won't have to be strong arm to make them affordable.
I think it was in the realm of like 800,000, somewhere around there.
Which relatively
That's cheap, that's
seem
cheap
like
money.
yeah. Relatively, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, 3.2, utilize surplus municipally owned properties, community spaces while reuse studies are in progress. Basically, nothing's happened with that at this point.
I don't know that there, other than maybe for West Main Street, there's nothing really optional in that.
Yeah.
I can't think of other properties that might be feasible for anything.
All right, well, let's leave that as not yet initiated. That'll be a spur when we provide our update to say that, at some point the select board will start thinking about what to do with some of these municipally owned.
Right, but I
Basically,
mean, for the record, 4 West Main is not a historic building.
That's right, but it's municipally owned, so that might be under cultural, rather community, rather than historic.
Well, it turns out that whether it is or not, the item in the master plan was included in this section, so we'll just provide the update with the master plan included the verbiage about it.
Mm-hmm.
3.3, reuse efforts for town-owned historic properties.
There.
Get used by the town community groups. So that was the whole thing on the White Cliffs.
Yeah. And is this 63 Main Street considered historic?
So maybe
It is. It is a
Whoa.
historic building.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's almost 100 years at this point.
wow. Okay.
Well,
Good to
I
know.
mean, no, I mean, so it burned down and was rebuilt a lot sooner than 100 years ago.
No,
I-
we're talking 63. That's
63
the
Oh,
The
that's
town
right.
hall.
Right. That's right. I'm sorry.
364 West. Yeah.
I believe
And
it
I
was
saw,
built
I
in the
saw Main Street and town
1930s.
offices. Right. 37 is the, right. Okay.
Whoa. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it seems like at this point, Lori, relocating the town offices is kind of a dead issue. The offices are going to stay at 63 Main Street. It's for the foreseeable future.
Seems as though.
Yeah. Okay, 4-1. Cooperate with local organizing committees for the education preservation of historic heritage. Provide support and endorsement to property owners, organizations, their efforts to secure CPC funding for historic preservation properties, First Parish Church, steeple, historic society, shutter repair, and replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, the shuttering that's in there. And also as far as the historical heritage, I'm hoping to bring up some things in our next meeting along those lines as we pick up our as we pick up our own goals. I actually, slight side note, went to a museum in Strawberry Bank, and it talked about the American African American history heritage in Portsmouth, and I thought, well, what's our heritage in Northborough? So that's something I intend to bring up at our next meeting.
Okay.
Right, so just on the 4-1, CPC needs to be changed to CPA, and the Historical Society is a window replacement, not shutters.
I think they
That
did. I
was
think,
shutters
didn't they do the shutters and they painted,
previously.
I
Yeah,
think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
yeah,
Oh,
and
all
maybe
right.
I should put a year on that because I'd say it was 2024 shutter replacement. Yes, it was definitely shutters, and then this year they got approved for windows. Yeah, that's my bad. CPC. Why do I do that?
I do that all the time too.
Yeah, because
So
we're
you
the
think
committee. Because
shutters was 2024?
I believe so. Yeah.
Probably speaking a little bit out of school here. Now, my wife is the treasurer at Trinity Church and involved in committees over there. They have the money. They got the money to take the steeple off the roof before the whole thing. It was the support of the steeple, not the steeple itself. Or the steeple has some issues too. Get that off of there before everything collapsed, and got the money to sort of do the structural repairs to the roof. At this point, there isn't a particular plan for the funding to put the steeple back up.
Oh, no.
I think there's going to be a CPA application maybe to do that, but I don't know if Millie, if somebody from the Historic Society might want to contact my wife Jean or somebody at the church and see if there could be some sort of joint fundraising project done. I told them they ought to put a sign. If they could come up with a capital campaign
Yeah,
for the steeple, they could use the steeple as a big billboard
I agree. I
and
agree.
advertise that. But maybe you could talk to people at the Historic Society and see if there's a joint venture that could be done between the Historic Society and the church to help generate interest in some fundraising to get the steeple back up there so it wouldn't have to be all community preservation money. I have no idea how much it's going to be. I think they're still looking into that, but it might be something that the Historic Society could partner with the church on.
Yeah, bring me home.
Something like that. Yeah. So we don't have to put anything in these notes about that, but it's just
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that again, I think that's something that can be brought up in our next meeting.
Yeah.
I got it.
And Jean Jean would be a good contact person if you want to contact somebody that if she's not the one, she can put you in touch with the right person.
Okay, so that's your wife?
Yeah. JEA and Jean Leaf.
Okay.
JH Leaf at gmail.com.
jhleaf@gmail.
Yep. Make sure you put the E before the I.
Yes, I figured
LEIF.
that one out the hard way a few times. Trying to send something to you. Got it.
And I found out with our last name plus the F over the phone sounds a lot like an S.
Yep.
And so I get people try to send an email to me at RLIES@AOL, which never shows up. And it turns out that RLIEF@AOL is a pastor in San Diego. So he and I finally figured out where our mail was going to, why I was getting stuff there.
Hysterical.
So it's important to have an F at the end and put the E before. People had it drilled into their heads in elementary school that I's go before E's.
Right.
Anyway, I'm off the point here.
Okay. So I will definitely send something to her. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep. 4-2, becoming a certified local government.
So that has been initiated. I apologize for not updating on that. I didn't realize that I hadn't. We actually initiated that back in, I want to say, August 2025, and we have not heard back yet from the state.
So was there an application sent to the state?
Yeah. Well, actually, what they asked for was all of the members' resumes, backgrounds, experience, and basically then they would tell us whether or not we should submit an application. And we submitted that, and that's one of the things that we have brought up that I'll be bringing up again to follow up on that email that we had sent, that everything that we had sent back in August. There have been some changeovers in the Mass Historic Society preservation, and so I haven't heard anything about whether or not I don't believe we've heard anything back from the email addressee. So I will be following up, but it has been initiated.
Good. Okay.
I would say August 2025.
-3, Downtown Planning Revitalization Committee. Wouldn't we get potentially adverse impacts on historic homes along main and neighboring streets?
Yeah, I don't have any other updates to add to that.
So Amy had added a comment here. Should we update the bylaws to allow duplex and multifamily on MSR by conversion only? Used to be a footnote. I don't know, Lori, any comment on Amy's?
No, she has mentioned it in passing a couple of times, but the planning board hasn't taken that up at this time.
Okay.
We did actually, I have an update for the next one.
Yep.
I suppose it's ongoing. Last summer, we did hire an intern from high school. He was was he a junior or a senior? And he assisted the planning department.
With cultural, historic, natural.
It was natural.
Okay, awesome.
Intern.
And did it include seeking possible funding sources, or does that a separate entity but all bunched in there?
He did do some research. He did some website work for us, and he shadowed Vinny on projects. He only worked really one day a week, and it was only for a month. So it was a very limited period of time, but we did have an intern.
You had a couple of more words about what the intern did.
Sure.
So did the way it's worded is the person who's hired should support local preservation projects, including seeking possible funding sources.
Yeah, I suppose that it probably,
Doesn't really fit.
yeah. I mean, I could put it in another section.
Yeah, because
It's,
it's pretty specific the way that's
well, though it is natural. That was his interest.
his interest is in natural, but to support local preservation projects, including seeking possible funding sources.
Well, preservation of wetlands.
Oh, well, okay. Sure. Okay. I'm always thinking preservation as in historic building or yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And Enrique, it could be me, but this next one, 4-4, and the 2-2 almost sound exactly like we already had those.
Yeah, I think we did. I noticed the same thing. NHS really isn't anything. It's NCH.
Right. Yeah. I was always confused by that. And I
I
was
think
like,
those, yeah, I
okay,
think
well,
those two can just come out altogether. They're copies of NCH things that were above.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
both of them?
the follow-up stuff, what we did not have, I mean, the Hourglass publication, there's a lot of detail in the E column that was not in the ones that we just looked at.
well, this one is only publishing and articles in social media and history signage. So that's why I didn't really include it in that
But
one.
but no, if Laurie scrolls back up to the earlier fours, we had,
I think one was education.
I mean, look at NCH 2-2.
Right, but I
Isn't
think
that exactly what we just read in the,
oh,
That's a copy. If you go down again, NCH
2-2 is
is
Yeah,
repeated.
it is a copy. So what
right,
I can
but
do is I can just take the verbiage from the other one and put it up.
Right.
we want to add what's in column E to,
yeah,
and then we
okay,
can
I see what
delete
you're
the
saying.
lines.
Was that like a differentiation between students and children versus adults, maybe? Like trying to educate young 18 and under versus writing things in articles, like for the community advocate, stuff like that, maybe?
I thought my only difference on that was one was seemingly educational to, I guess, maybe to the same point versus
Yeah.
publishing.
Yes, that's what it seemed like the difference was.
Yeah,
But we can just have all
Look-
that verbiage under NCH 22.
sure. That makes sense. So we can just pop that over.
No, it's not letting me. Crap. Let me see if I can paste it again.
Interesting. Good catch, Fran.
Sometimes I think it's me seeing the same things twice, but I'm glad other people saw it.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was going through
Yeah.
before the meeting tonight. I saw those two things that didn't, this one and the next one is another duplicate.
I usually do say the same thing twice and don't notice it. Yeah. And that is, yeah, demolition delay bylaws. Same thing. Zoinks.
Okay, so then
And this one's a duplicate.
do we have the verbiage for demolition delay bylaw in its copy above?
No. I can certainly add it though.
It is here.
Oh,
Uh,
Instituted demo delay.
Oh, right, but we don't have all of the actual verbiage of the bylaw.
Yeah, so the update here was just we had a bylaw, we instituted demolition delay bylaw, and then up above, we talk about how we used it on something.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Because the demolition delay bylaw is more than 20 years old. I was on the select board at the time when it was done, and it was only yeah, so that's been around for a while. I'm glad we're implementing it.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I should have said. Implemented demo delay bylaw.
I'm gonna save all of this under 611, the former one, 6.8 that I just sent out today, if that's okay. Or
Sure,
do you want me to update the date?
I
No,
think it's fine.
Okay.
all right, so that completes natural, cultural, historic. So let's move on to public services and facilities.
Where's that one? Did you skip open space?
Yeah, it's right
We
here.
we did open space at the
69.
last meeting.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh.
The PFS starts with PFS.
Yep, got it.
It's after open space.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Are these things we got updates from Scott, Lori, on these?
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of things that I updated. Yep.
Let's see what we got here. Needs from
Not
potential.
on this specific line.
Okay. Potential grants for expanding water sewer infrastructure. Unsuccessful application funding to Route 9 corridor study, which would include discussion extending water sewer. How would you determine, yeah, this comes around and again, but so far the town has not really taken any action.
I did update the culvert, the PFS 13, but I put it in a different location. So maybe we can delete Amy's comment.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's something we can call out again in our, so when we send the update to select board, I think we need to call out the fact that there needs to be some serious decision-making and discussions had on expansion of water and sewer capacity on Route 9. And, it's really holding back, I think, the ability to take advantage of what we can. We don't have that much on Route 9, but we could do a better job of it if we had water and sewer down there.
Well, maybe Lori can reapply for the $1 million that she was wanted to do a couple of years ago, and that select board didn't want her to.
Right.
Well, that ship has sailed because the property owner who was willing to pony up some money so he didn't have to pay $1 million for his new septic system. He ended up having to pay $1 million for the new septic system. So
Oh, yeah.
he's all set now, unfortunately.
All right, 1.3, State Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Program. That's
So I'm sorry, which one?
It's ongoing. It's the proper status. That should say complete. Oh, this says participate in. It's not just a one-time thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's grants every year.
I guess ongoing makes sense. Okay.
I did apply for an MVP grant for the Blake and Pierce Street project, but didn't get it. Maybe I should add that.
Yeah, I think that's important as far as the action. Yeah.
Uh,
while you're doing that, I didn't notice this going through this, but what happened to PFS 1.2, 1.4, and 1.5?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Just gonna pull, I got the copy of the master plan here to see what, if anything, was in there. Public facility and services.
Do you know what the PFS 1.2 said?
Okay. PFS 1.2, gauge the quality of municipal services and identify opportunities for improvement.
What does it say?
It says gauge the quality of municipal services and identify opportunities for improvement.
And it's in section 9-17 in the hard book.
It's gauge the quality of municipal services and what's the rest?
And then identify opportunities for improvement.
Who is the responsible parties?
Um,
Town administrator.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Can I have a quick question on the one above? What is WSC? Something water, something safe, what?
Water Sewer Commission.
Oh, Water Sewer Commission. Okay.
Partners are the BOS and the DPW, Lori,
Okay.
on PS1, yeah, and I guess we should say BS, not BOS. Oh, SB, sorry, SB.
Is that consistent? But it's not consistent with the rest of the.
That's fine.
Yeah, the rest of them say BOS. All right, 1.3 we talked about.
I don't know if this has been initiated or not.
I would say not. I'd say not initiated, not yet initiated.
Okay. And then we're missing
1.4 is.
Hold on.
Can I ask a quick question? Because under the services of the municipal or municipal services, wouldn't that also be like police department, fire department, school? I mean, it falls all under the DPW? Or is that something you should have?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm not sure about the schools, but the police department and fire department would have to be included in that.
Yeah.
Those are also municipal services.
So what is 1.4?
Let's go back up to 1.2 and also put BOS, comma, DPW, comma, PD, comma, FD. Okay. So 1.4 says include future growth projections into updates of existing town plans.
Oh, it just popped in there.
It sure did. Projection to updates.
That's weird.
What existing town plans?
I'm not quite sure.
That means it's somewhere else.
Right, right.
Otherwise,
Well, we do regularly include these within, like the open space and recreation plan has that. And I suppose the downtown revitalization plan had the growth projections as well.
Growth of population, growth of just population growth?
I don't know.
And also it's within the school projections.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's just population growth. Because you could say future business growth projections, you could say, future school needs growth projections. I'm just trying to figure out. I haven't really looked at this one, in case you can't tell.
But this is about public facilities and services, not, so it must be about growth projections in our services, not our population.
Right. So that's not, to me, should be
Probably
more
not
clear.
that
Yeah,
initiative.
I agree.
Although I suppose the town hall feasibility study looked at that.
Uh,
To a certain extent, it did.
Do we call it underway or ongoing?
I have a question. At what point do you decide to revisit that? I mean, it's not like the space all of a sudden became larger and they have more room. It's still
Oh,
not sufficient.
actually,
So when,
this was
like, how many
included.
years do you wait and do it again?
This was also
Typically.
included in the fire department design. So they had to design for the future. So
mhm. So would it
fires.
be helpful to say include future public service needs growth projections?
I mean, some of you committee people have been on here for a long time. I mean, how often do you look at this? 5 years, 8 years? Like, what's the timeline planning strategic way that you typically do this? Before Lori came along and made this lovely map, like Fran or whoever else has been on there forever.
Well,
How do you
all right,
normally
well,
do this?
Yeah,
well,
this is kind of the master plan.
the matrix has been there since the inception of the master plan in 2008, started in 2018.
Yeah.
Within the last few years, we have been more focused on now looking at it beyond downtown revitalization, because that was what our focus was for probably the first 2 years
Yeah.
of our existence. And so now we're able to move beyond the revitalization of downtown onto the other sections. So it's a living document. We will probably, by the time we get to one end, we should probably just start right back on the top end and start going through it again.
As
That's what I was wondering. Like,
Yeah.
what is the life expectancy of like certain buildings? I guess, like projections of the police station should, and I'm making this up. The police station should last 25 to 30 years. The fire station should last 50 to 80 years. Like, how has that been managed previously?
So I think it depends, like schools, I believe they're supposed to be planning for 50 years in the future. So the state sets the horizon.
Okay.
Yeah, typically each department, like the fire department, looks at their equipment when it needs to be replaced, when the building has been outlived. So they're usually the ones that come back to the town and say, hey, we need a replacement or an addition or something like that. So, but also, again, the police department, they look at their own buildings, their own infrastructure, if I understand correctly, with the town, building manager, facilities manager. That's not on our purview, but as the implementation committee, we're supposed to be looking at the bigger picture and basically saying, hey, I'm the liaison for the historic district committee, so I'm pulling out the pieces that I feel that are relevant to my committee.
Right. And to that, just as we should put somewhere that the police station did get new siding.
Yeah.
Right, so that is an improvement on an existing building, right?
And a paint job, I think.
Oh, right, part of it was painted, some was resided, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
guess
we've
in
come
my
up
mind, like a
to that
plan,
item yet. So
I guess
maybe hold that thought.
maybe, and it's not really here exactly, I don't think, when I read it the last time, like if the certain buildings like a schedule, so then it's an expectation. All right, well, we've got 10 more years life out of building a, instead of everything happening at the same time, like fire station, roof replacement, this, build, now we need a new school, if it was, I'm assuming it was all set out previously. So it's just like, how do you redo that and reimagine it so it's mapped out? So there's no big surprise. Oh, we
That's
need a new
why
school.
we have the town administrator.
Well, we also do, all department heads are required to uh, plug into the long-term capital improvement plan. So for example, I put the Blake Street project on there. Oh, the master plan, the future master plan in 2030.
Yep.
The fire department puts their major capital needs in there. Same with DPW.
And we don't look at that. That's part of the staff people's,
Right.
like this
The
is our plan
financial
for committees. Okay.
Yeah.
So
financial
they have all
committees
that.
looked at that. So we had to update that for the financial summit.
Mm-hmm.
So Jen, what will happen is when we get to our next area, we will say, okay, we think it's important that the appropriate boards, committees, and commissions and departments look at the feasibility of 63, Main Street, because we had thought it would be good for housing. Can they give us an update so that we can then update it? Or, we're just giving them, reminding them of what the master plan wanted, what the vision was.
Yeah.
We have to implement it if so desired.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking so, again, there was a study done to move town hall, right? The offices to a different location, and that didn't go through. So then how long does that wait until it's done again? Because the situation hasn't changed. The office space requirements they still need the space. Right? So how does that get worked in?
So what is happening now is that pretty much, as far as I know, administration accepts the fact that we're going to be in the town hall for the foreseeable future. So now they're starting to invest in making improvements. So there's like a $1 million HVAC project that's underway.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess at this point, the priority is making it comfortable, because there has been deferred maintenance for 20 years, thinking that there was going to be a new building. So now they're just focusing on, let's just make the space livable.
Hey, Lori, on 1.3 is where when we're talking about key infrastructure for climate change resiliency, that's where I would put the police station siding, because that is, it was tightening up, any, drafts and things like that, as well as the mini splits that are that are going to be put at 63 West Main. Because those are ways in which we can be more, environmentally aware, right, and energy conservancy.
So what were you saying about West Main?
At 63 Main Street, I'm sorry, we put on mini splits, didn't we? Didn't we just approve?
Yeah, I'll just put HVAC improvements
Sure.
underway.
And putting it at the end of office in the last line there and make,
It'd be good if I was a better typist.
so going down to 1-4, I think this was kind of a catch-all that the consultants threw in here to remind the town to keep planning for the future. So we should put the same, town administrator, board of selectmen, DPW, fire department as the, interested parties on 1-4. And I think some of the things we've listed, there are things that are going on. I think the capital improvement plan is the major technique that's used to project out capital needs in the future. And then every year, decisions are made about which one of those things are going to be funded based on what the budget can take. All right, one
So-
dash.
Isn't the fire station feasibility plan done?
Yeah, so I'm giving them credit for having done that. So that's when they would look at what the needs were going to be in the future.
Right.
I could do both. I could say plan / design.
For future. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I think we beat this one to death. Moving on to 1-5.
Are you sure, Rick? We could probably go a little more.
So 1-5 is develop specific plans to reuse, repurpose, or share space at municipal buildings.
You redevelop.
Develop specific plans to reuse, repurpose, or share space at municipal buildings.
Specific plans for each building?
Is that it?
Yeah, so I think the 37 West Main fits into this.
What's,
That's going to be a that's going to be,
what's 37 West Main?
whatever it is. What's the address of the building at the corner of Blake Street and West Main Street?
4.
4 West Main. Well, basically, put something in there about that 4 West Main is RFP has been issued for repurposing 4 West Main.
Like I-40 West Main, so I don't 37 might be the gas station. I'd love to reuse that one.
Right? And we're doing this as underway.
Underway. Yeah. The other thing that's going to come up it hasn't happened yet, is going to be deciding what to do with the fire station on Pierce Street. That'll be another repurposing thing. But that's not current yet. This is still being used as a fire station. Trying to think of the other municipal buildings. So the town hall, the 63 Main, it's just being kind of plans are in place for upgrades to make it more usable, but there's really no reuse or repurposing or sharing of space at 63.
And so it should probably be ongoing as opposed to underway. I think they're slightly different.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And who is responsible for this?
It was the TA and BOS and planning are the implementation partners, but TA is the leadership.
Is it planning board or planning department?
It says PB. Planning board, but that's on implementation partners, not implementation leadership. So I'm not exactly sure what column we're in.
So is just TA is bolded and the others are not?
Bold,
The lead is bolded and the other ones aren't?
yes, correct.
Okay.
1-6.
This one, I don't understand why the planning board is getting a shout out. I think all boards commit,
Wait, on 1-6, it's not planning board.
The 1-5.
Oh gosh, got it. Yeah.
I feel the same
No,
way.
that's because I wrote it. I'll just say all municipal departments. That is actually something that our former town administrator, as well as Stephanie, has really kind of mentioned over and over again to the department heads.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that all boards and committees and commissions are encouraged to have at least YouTube, replays and live, not necessarily interaction. That we're updating our code red again this year to try to get more people we use email access and different things like that. So we really are using electronic communication at a much higher level than we were 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right, PFS 21. Emergency response plans, residents long resist man-made.
Hmm.
Should there be something about this effort going on with Code Red in here or not
Yeah, I just saw that.
in the update? For PFS 21. Not 2221, right? Oh, no, I guess it could be under, yeah, I guess it could be under 22. Okay.
We already have the code red, Lori, but they're asking, they sent out, if you're on the list, sir, if you got emails saying if you want to still participate at what level and things like that. So the code red update. There you go.
Oh, and they're also working on moving to a new website platform.
Yeah, we had that at our last meeting. It's a whole new system. WebEx or something.
Does anything under here consider things like our Zoom meetings or board and committee meetings on Zoom, or is that really not part of this element at all? Public safety, not really, right? It's communication, but not really, because they're all available on YouTube. So I'm just curious.
I would say the next one we could talk about hybrid meetings.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which one? We're talking about 22?
Yeah, I would think so, because again, it's availability of information and communication with residents that
Yeah.
didn't exist 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd say that started in, wasn't it 2025 when we started to do the hybrid platform?
Hybrid, yes, but Zoom was 2019, 20.
Since COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to put ongoing for status on that one.
Mm.
Probably 2020, right? Is when it started.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. Hard to believe 6 years ago.
Yeah. And then put
And
ongoing.
we're doing underway or ongoing for that one.
I'd say ongoing.
Yeah, I think so. The technology changes. I'm sure the town will keep doing new things.
Yeah.
Well, I would also say most staff have capability of working from home.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say remote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It could be a hotel room.
All right. There is a PFS 2-3. You need to add.
Shoot.
periodically reevaluate staffing and facilities to ensure adequate levels to support the town's administration and services.
To support administration services.
Periodically evaluate staffing and facilities to ensure adequate levels
Sure.
to support the town's administration and services.
BA bold, BOS, not bold.
Grab that. TA and BOS, and that's it?
Yes.
And are they both bolded?
There's nothing bolded in my paper copy.
Okay.
Bolded TA. I think
Right, but one is leadership and the other is a partner, so I'm assuming that that's how it got consolidated in the matrix that we're using online.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure
So ongoing.
yeah. If there's any
Here's
particular,
here's where you can put that we have the financial not forum, what is the thing in this, financial summit annually to assess the needs and the priorities of the town. And then we have our annual budget process that goes through our appropriations and financial planning to determine what constitutes adequate levels of support.
And I know before I started, so I want to say this was maybe 4 years ago, the town did a study to compare the various jobs across multiple departments to evaluate like pay. So that's similar, so they like did widespread reclassifications and adjusted the salaries accordingly. Do you think that that should be in this item?
I don't see why not, but the financial summit is not just capital needs, it was a department needs too, staffing needs.
Personnel. I know that there was a name for the personnel study. And I'll have to look it up. How do you spell personnel?
Compensation?
Completed in 2020. Actually, no, it was 2021, maybe. 22. I'll put a little question mark.
Was it personnel as in positions or personnel as in compensation of positions?
It evaluated all the various positions across the board in all of the municipal departments and came up with a classification system as well as a salary. So what it did is it like grouped, like for example, I believe the town clerk and my position were identified as the same level of services, kind of like the tasks are similar.
Yeah.
And the required expertise are similar.
Right.
So I think it's like a reclassification study.
So would you say personnel classification and compensation study?
That sounds good.
Put it
Classification.
in red instead of using a question mark so you'll see it.
Personnel classification and what did you say, Millie?
Compensation.
And I'm gonna put it in red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
And there's a whole section of PFS3s.
right. There's 3.1, a 3.2, and a 3.3 that has to do with climate change and sustainability.
What happened here?
Yeah.
So the first one is PFS 3.1.
How many more are we missing?
There are three of them, 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3.
Okay, what's 3.1 say?
Leverage the town's green community designation to, where am I? Obtain financial and technical support.
To obtain, what is it?
To obtain financial and technical support from the state to perform additional energy-related initiatives and consider
Hold on. Energy related
initiatives
Yeah,
and consider the creation,
instead of the creation
no, and consider,
and consider.
yeah, the creation of a sustainability committee.
Well, I know that Sean from DPW, the maintenance facilities director, has done a number of green communities grants. So I'll pick his brain about that.
Okay, so why don't you fill that one in when you talk to him? That can be either an ongoing and an underway, whatever.
And who are the enforcement authorities?
As leadership is TA, partner is Board of Selectmen.
Okay, PFS 3-2. Ready?
Yep.
Install solar photovoltaic panels.
You know, I remember providing an update for this. So I'm going to look to see if maybe somehow it got deleted just recently, because I remember updating this. Voltaic panels.
At municipal facilities, comma, where and when possible. Update the solar feasibility study for the town's school buildings.
Or school buildings.
For the town's school buildings.
Was there a solar feasibility study done for them? I don't remember hearing that.
They must, when the consultants went through all the town material, they must have discovered something about that.
Well, on the senior center, when Tim McEnany was here, we talked about putting solar panels on the senior center, but because the roof had less than 10-year life, you would have to replace the roof before you put the solar panels on. So that study was done, and all the schools are looking at solar panels in some form or fashion to put on their buildings.
I know I had language because that was just authorized maybe at last year's town meeting, and I'm sure that I put in a blurb about that. So I'm just gonna add a blurb.
But wasn't there just a roof approved, or is that coming? Maybe it's the Z School roof that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Z School just got approved, yes.
For a solar installation?
No,
No,
for the
for
roof.
a roof that is solar panel ready.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
I think that's what they said at town meeting.
I think you're right. I
Right.
just and maybe that's appropriate there.
But they're doing repairs also, right? At Z, or is that at Peasley? They're doing no, at Z, they're doing the roof. I think.
Beasley's getting a whole new school.
Whole new school. Yeah, I think the Z school is getting repairs for the roof.
Right, the Z is Peasley's getting the new school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to Jen's point, Lori, just verify that it is the Z School roof, that with the repairs, then it would be solar panel ready, because that, I remember the conversation, but now I'm second guessing the conclusion.
I remember the discussion at town meeting talked about the fact that it would be solar panel ready when they were finished with it.
And I guess back to my question is there a solar feasibility study for town school buildings?
I just pulled up the article in the Community Advocate, January 11, 2024. Solar projects proposed for Northborough, Southborough schools. 7 solar projects. Now, obviously, we can cut out, subtract Southborough, but 7 projects. According to Greg Martineau.
So there must have been.
On the solar array, a roof at Algonquin, this is for solar. Z, Trotter, and Algonquin. So the 2 schools in Northborough were Z and Algonquin. Depending on roof replacements. Okay, so that's from January of 2024.
I'm pretty sure that was the year that the town meeting articles passed.
So would it be appropriate to put that in that detail update solar feasibility study from 2024?
I don't know. I don't know when the feasibility study was done.
It had to be done before 2020.
Okay.
So who are the enforcement authorities on that one?
The TA is the lead, the select board, DPWs, and the school committee.
Mm-hmm.
So the first part of your update says sustainability committee. I mean, we don't have a sustainability committee, right?
Don't we though?
We do? Who's that?
Yeah, because Jean was on it.
Mm.
And when you say
I thought that's
sustainability,
the school committee. Oh.
Because I remember her talking about it, and they had a display a couple of months ago in the town hall about their activities to remove invasives from town forests.
Is SC sustainability committee or school committee?
school committee.
Okay.
I don't, I can, let me actually see if I go to the municipal website.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Not listed. Oh, no, it's not listed.
Well, maybe they're not like an official group.
And I'd put sustainability committee not yet established.
I swear they exist.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're not officially a board committee or commission of Northborough.
Yeah.
Are they the earthwork board?
No.
No, they're just called
Okay.
Sustainable Northborough, and Sustainable Northborough, they have a website,
Oh,
they,
yeah, here they are.
yeah,
Interesting.
but they're not a town
Not
board.
So they really can't be involved in this, right?
And not the
No.
recycling committee. It's not the same people.
Correct.
Oh,
Okay.
But they work with the recycling committee, so that might have been why they didn't become an official committee.
mhm.
So the creation of a sustainability committee is under 3-1, so up there you should put sustainability committee not established, not yet established.
How about we say Sustainability Northborough Committee established, but it has no town affiliation?
But that still has to go up under 3-1, not 3-2.
And I don't think they can really be put on the criteria for implementing this.
Well, they wouldn't be able to access it. Right? The matrix, I mean,
No.
they'd need a liaison to be able to.
No,
Right.
that was Jean.
That was Jean.
She's the only one that I know of who
Yeah.
was on it, and she's the one that did the display in the town hall on your table that you
My little
usually
thing,
use.
yeah, my
I
little
love
gallery.
that. Yeah.
So, yeah, so Northborough does not currently have an official municipal sustainability committee.
Right.
However, they have a local volunteer group known as Sustainable Northborough.
Yeah. I don't think that what they've done, I'm not sure. I'd be hesitant to.
I'd take the word committee off of there. I'd say sustainability in Northborough established, but it has no town affiliation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Because
just
they do things in
do-
Westboro
has-
also. They do collaborative. They did like computer recycling or electronic recycling. They do a lot of things, but it's not only for Northborough.
Sustainability Northborough is like the Northborough Historic Society, the Northborough Affordable Housing Corporation. They're resident developed groups with a particular interest, but they're not affiliated with the town.
And you may say something like town works with or
I don't know if they
collaborates with Sustainability Northborough.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I
if they
know
do.
that they helped Vinny with the invasive weed mitigation project on one of the ponds. And like I said, I know that they do the invasive vegetation mitigation on conservation lands.
They work
Yeah.
through oars too, right, Lori? I think.
Yeah, I know
Do things
that
with them.
Jean has the affiliation with Oars.
Mm-hmm.
Because it might be better worded that town staff works with Sustainability Northborough or collaborates with them to, it just rather than, to me, that sounds like Sustainability Northborough established is a actual town committee or board or organization, but it's not.
It has no town affiliation.
It really has no town, even though you say that, it doesn't.
The other
work
thing is,
with-
I think it's a little bit off point for
Yeah,
this particular recommendation, because I think this recommendation is all about energy sustainability. Has to do with solar and wind and financial and technical support to perform additional energy related initiatives. And I think the sustainability committee was going to be established to do energy related, invasive plant species and stuff like that, maybe a part of sustainability, but I think this was focused on energy related sustainability.
Okay, that makes more sense if you're talking about things like this. Yeah.
In which case, sustainability Northborough, I don't think has done anything about
Yeah, I don't think
solar or
that.
wind or anything else like that.
Yeah,
I mean, we could still put it in there, but
I
So
agree.
you want me to delete it then?
I think so. I think it's
Yeah.
the whole focus of PFS 3 had to do with energy usage and And you're going to see 3.3 has to do with the greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah, so it says basically where, yeah, I agree.
Okay, so PFS 3.3 is inventory the town's greenhouse gas emissions.
Hmm.
To identify and quantify. The sources of such emissions. And begin the process of reducing them.
I'd say not yet
Right.
initiated.
So
And
when
if
you're
you-
talking about the greenhouse gases, are you talking about like oil burning furnaces and things like that? Because we definitely have things in our zoning that bylaws that don't allow you to put things in like that anymore.
Well, I think this is focused on in municipal buildings,
Oh,
towns, but I'm going to assume that means, well, I don't know. It doesn't say town municipal buildings, but I think the thrust of PFS 3.
well, because we do have zoning that is, really geared towards state compliance for greenhouse and low emissions.
Well, that could go up into 3.1. As part of our green community designation, we've implemented some zoning
Yeah.
to
Does
try
that
to
make
limit so maybe you could put something in a 3-1 about the zoning we've implemented too.
Yeah. Because if you build new projects, and I know this because we have certain limitations on what we can do in one church, is because we're moving away from fossil fuels and greenhouse producing energy sources.
We do require bicycle facilities.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Millie, aren't you saying that some of the new zoning also limits what
I don't
can
know if it's zoning or if it's just state requirements, so maybe I need to clarify that.
But we also just passed zoning changes that we are actually defining open space as actual open space, and that like driveways can't be, or pavement can't be. And that is also a sustainability or a green initiative, right? It's true open space versus just a driveway.
And yeah, and we do have
Electric vehicle.
vegetation requirements, and yeah, the electric charging stations.
Yeah. And I think those are all part of the green initiative.
And how does that get communicated from the state level to like the TA or the Board of Selectmen? I think that's a select board that you have on there. Like how is that communicated? How would they know that a new requirement arrived?
Well, it is in the building code now, it's in the energy code.
Mm-hmm.
But the bicycle facilities and the open space, yeah, they probably aren't really aware of what the specific zoning requirements are.
The open space committee, you mean, but as far as building, you have a certain requirement for that amount of open space.
Yeah, I know that Sean, as part of his green community grant activities, Oh, another thing is we require dark sky compliant, energy efficient lighting.
I knew there was something else. Yeah. Question on that, the stormwater doesn't really fall into this as far as green, right? That's more conservation, right?
Yeah, so this has more to do with, like, I know Sean's been working on like lighting efficiency projects as well as HVAC projects in various municipal buildings. So part of the reason why our town hall was closed down for a week is because they were installing insulation in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an energy efficiency project. But I can get detail from him that will flesh that out.
Okay.
I don't think we've actually inventoried the town's greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah, that was curious to me.
We did, so the police chief, I know, is interested in hybrid vehicles. So I can write about that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I have a
Sorry, does
question.
that also, oh, sorry, does that also count the, sorry, I can't remember the acronym for the new version of a taxi service that we have now? What was that called that you had the,
It's a
thank
VIA.
you. Yeah. Does that include, like, because our town is now using that, does that count as part of this, or like a transportation
I don't think that would really
thing?
help because
Okay.
it's mainly focused towards
The train.
bringing people where they need to go who don't have other ways of getting there.
Wasn't
So
there something that you had sent us a zillion messages on about like a MBTA transporting people around or something that
yeah,
and the
that
bike
is
trail or whatever about on Route 9? Isn't that part of this kind of a thing too? No?
well, yeah, we are working on the B Wall Trail.
Well,
You
that's what
all.
it was.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that counts, right? I knew it was something in that world. Sorry. Like oh, the taxi, whatever.
Yeah, some taxi to ferry people
Something.
around.
There was yeah, there was something. Sorry.
Yeah,
I,
so that's the Mass Trails grant that I should hear about in another week or so.
I have a quick question, and it may relate to one of the other pieces before as I'm thinking of this because the conversation's kind of going there. Does the fire station, is that solar panel ready, or was that even considered on the fire station new one?
It's my understanding that it is solar panel ready.
So that might be worth mentioning, but also the geothermal.
Yeah. Gee. What is it called? Geothermal heating system?
Yeah. And solar panel ready. Yeah. Oh, we're losing your typing. So wouldn't that be for the town buildings? Wouldn't you put that again under the fire department, police department, school?
What do you mean?
As far as,
As far as who's responsible?
yeah,
What is designated in the master plan?
I don't have that in front of me.
Rick?
Fran's had that in front of it. If you look at
On which one? The
Mm.
three,
3.3,
3, TA is bold, DPW is partner,
So just TA and DPW?
right?
Okay.
So you wouldn't want to add any of the other building departments that are in municipal buildings?
I
I'm
think
just
we
reading
have
what was in
to
here.
use what is already in the master plan.
yeah. We should just copy what's in the master plan in this who's responsible section.
Okay.
We do ongoing or underway?
Well, there's a comment. So inventorying the town greenhouse gas emissions is not yet initiated. I mean, this is all about in identifying sources and begin process of reducing. So begin process of reducing. The comments we've made in the comment block have to do with begin reducing.
Maybe / not yet initiated, or that you could say the inventory not yet initiated, but elements underway.
You could change the status to underway, and you could say the first comment in the comment block could be that greenhouse gas inventory has not yet been initiated.
I don't know, because then I think that would be easily missed. To me, I look at that category and I say, okay, what do I need to do? And if you say ongoing, I may or may not read that element. But if you say, in my mind, if you say
Not
this is not yet initiated, this is ongoing, I might say, okay, I need to focus on what's not yet started.
How about I put it in the next column?
I still wouldn't look over there. To me, I want what's not initiated to be focused on.
But I think this is future actions, this column.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of leaning towards what Millie's saying. We can have that comment over there on the right. But I wouldn't be opposed to changing the status to not yet initiated.
Or if you just said, again, this part's not yet initiated, other elements underway. Because that's a lot in there. Because it says this, number one, is quantify the source and begin the process of reducing it, which we have, without even having an inventory.
Should that be separated? Can you separate it?
Well, once we're trying to copy
Yeah.
the master plan presented the summary, so I don't want to break them apart. The PFS 3.3 was a specific thing. We just need to figure out how to respond to it. But I agree with Millie. I think a big part of this was to do this inventory of gas emissions and identify and quantify the sources of the emissions. And then knowing that, decide what to do about it. So these other things are just kind of ad hoc things that are kind of happening.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the biggest problem we've got a bunch of oil-fired furnaces in our buildings.
Right.
That's the biggest issue, and we should be considering
We don't even
replacing
know
them
it.
all
Yeah.
with a different heating source. I mean, that's what this is getting at.
Yeah.
Not just a bunch of little, I mean, these ad hoc things are important, but the town really hasn't gotten a good handle on where
So
the greenhouse emissions are coming from and what to do about it.
So even if you were to say inventory not yet initiated, but reduction plan, process begun. I don't know. Does that make it more confusing? Because there's two elements that are really either you've started it or you haven't, but you could still be doing pieces of it.
Yeah, we could change the status to inventory, not yet anticipating certain reductions underway.
Yeah,
And just say inventory, not yet initiated,
I
Laura.
would say inventory.
I
'Cause that's the
say
one
that in
that,
this column, though. Greenhouse gas emissions inventory needed.
Well, put inventory in front of not yet initiated and keep that other comment.
yeah, because I would not look over there necessarily.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, that makes,
So we're sort of running over here. We could review the minutes and end the meeting now and pick up 4-1 when we meet again. We have to discuss when we're going to meet again, or we could just slog on here and try and finish 4. How many do we have? 4.
Now, we still have transportation too.
Yeah, that one we're definitely not going to get to tonight. The question is, do we want to finish the PFS ones tonight or just pick those up the next time?
how much more is there? Because it looks like there hasn't been a lot done.
There's there's 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4, and 4-5. Have to do with the schools.
Yeah, I don't know
Preference is
the
to
answer.
wait.
What'd you say?
My preference is to wait until our next meeting instead of, because by the time we get our minutes done, it's
Yeah.
gonna be closer,
And that's fine. I don't see a rush in those.
no.
Yeah. Let's do that. So let's stop for tonight, and we'll pick up at the next meeting with the rest of the PFSs, and then we can add transportation. The last one we have to get to is housing, which I've been intentionally delaying because there's been a movement afoot to set up a resident-based housing coalition, which is getting a little bit of footing going on. I just wanted to see where that goes because that could have some impact on the updates to the housing things.
Mm.
So,
I was going to ask a question. Laurie, have you met with anybody in the school administration about some of these goals and strategies?
No. I can certainly reach out to the superintendent's office.
Yeah, I was thinking if you were able to talk to somebody and sort of get their response to the various school-related strategies, you could bring that back to us at the next meeting, and then would have the updated information. We could go through it, and then we could go to the transportation section.
Sure.
okay, sounds like that's a good idea, Jim.
We have an opening on our board, maybe what school committee members would like to put their name in.
Well, do we have a liaison from the school committee here?
No,
Not on this committee.
Okay.
we don't have a voting member that's specific to the schools. But we do have at-large, and an at-large person could be the one that Jean Cahill, she was an at-large, right? So
Okay. I have another question on we've definitely sent letters to different departments or as our liaisons go back to their committees. Has anybody sent anything to the TA, and has the TA chimed in on any of this?
Well, of course, we have periodically supplied updates to the select board and of course the town administrator, but no, I haven't gotten any updates. So usually the updates that I get are when I specifically ask questions like, Scott, there were a few holes here for him. So I just emailed him those questions and he responded. So that's more successful than just sending them the matrix and saying, hey, update it.
Or these are the areas that are, included in your purview. Can you focus on some of these things so we can work through the master plan?
I think the process though is we send something to the select board and then the select board instructs the TA that this is a priority for her. right? And that's what we did a couple months back. We sent a letter to the select board saying, hey, here are some things that have been an important issue in the master plan. Are you going to act on them? Right?
Okay. I guess I wasn't aware that the TA would have been would have been part of the select board. I thought the TA also should know really what we're doing here.
Yeah, everything that I
Okay.
send to the select board, I send to the town administrator.
Right, but I don't know that they're aware that, to me, I'm not sure the town administrator is aware that this is actually under their header, which they're the main highlight person or responsible party. And I was just curious. I haven't heard any updates coming specifically from the BOS or the TA.
Right.
Okay.
because they've been basically ignoring this thing. So it's going to be the reason we're doing this is to send this back before them and say, this is what the plan looks like. These are a bunch of things that your name is next to, and
This is what
Right.
the residents of Northborough paid a lot of money for. So hopefully it'll be bear fruit.
And that segues nicely into the letter that John Campbell sent that I do think should be referenced at some point, that, we do need to know what the select board, what the priorities are. We have a new select board, and maybe bringing them up to speed.
Yeah.
And I would really like, and maybe he'll watch this, and if not, if Rick could reach out to our member who is on the select board, Jonathan Ray, who has been our person for a while now.
Yeah.
It is not a liaison position, it is a voting member position, and therefore his presence would be beneficial because he would have input and insight and a vote on what we do. So it's a little different than when it's just a liaison reporting back. It's a voting
Right.
position.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
agree.
helpful to have him actually come to a meeting, if he's watching.
I have a question. So because there's a lot of things on here that are listed as like the TAs under their, as Millie was saying, to-do list basically.
Better. Yeah.
And yeah, and so I think it's a lot to ask Lori to have to communicate with the DPW and with the TA about all of these things, if I'm understanding correctly. And then once a to-do list comes out of this, then it gets sent, I think, I don't know who just said it, as a suggestion, to the select board. So do we invite the TA to come to the meeting and kind of talk about some of these things? I mean, is that appropriate? I don't know what the right
Yeah. I guess
thing
I
is,
don't
instead
know.
of going through Lori, because I feel like it's a lot to put on Lori to
Well,
update.
I think once we complete these updates,
Okay.
I'm going to send the update memo to the town administrator to put on the agenda for review by the select board. And then I think once that's happened, we'll just have to see through the town administrator and the select board, to reference what John Campbell said, which of all of this do they feel is important enough to prioritize to get people on the staff to start to work on? Or do they believe that at this point the town has other things they want to do instead and that they're not ready to do that? But I think the whole purpose of completing these updates is to then send this to the town administrator, asking her to schedule a time for the select board to review all of this, and if she would like me and Jean or me and Jean and Lori to
Yep.
attend and
Appropriate.
discuss this, that's how we'll do it. So
But
the
it's
only
the opposite. It's the opposite. Just you have to remember that the town administrator reports to the select board. So we as a committee would send our request to the chair of the select board and ask to be put on the agenda. And then they direct the TA to say, these are our priorities. Now you need to work with the subordinate staff of yours to get them to implement or act on it. That's the chain of command.
Oh yeah, so Fran, to your point, so does that mean that horse or cart, like does the TA update this first before Rick and Jean speak to the select board about like the to-do list, or does it go first to the select board and then the TA updates, I
Well,
guess?
no,
Lori can have
we're doing the updates. Lori's is helping us provide the information. We're doing the updates. The TA is not updating this matrix, and the select board is not updating this matrix. We're updating it. And the next step is going to be when the updates are done, I'm going to write a cover memo, which we'll all see and review and agree to. And I still think the way to do this is to send the updated matrix and the master plan and our comments to the town administrator and ask her to put this on an agenda. Typically, she works with the chair of the select board to set the agendas for the select board meetings. So I think the way we get Stephanie involved is to say the master plan committee has completed updating all of the recommendations in the master plan. These need to get to the select board for their review, and it's to their prerogative if they want to schedule a meeting to discuss this with our committee.
So I guess I'm confused because I myself, as a liaison from the Historic District Committee,
Right.
I believe that I'm responsible for doing the updates and doing the filling this in. So I don't even, if it's the board BOS that is responsible to talking to the TA, then the TA really shouldn't be the lead on this. It should be the BOS because they're the ones who need to make that decision. I don't understand why we can't send something to the TA directly based on the way this is set up.
Well, that's what we're going to do. I think the TA is being listed because it's going to be her job to actually make this stuff happen. The Board of Selectmen is going to have to authorize her to do it. But all these things that the police department or the fire department or the DPW or the planning department is going to have to do is going to come through the direction of the town administrator
Okay.
with the backing of the select board.
Okay.
All of these people report to the town administrator, with the exception of the school committee, school superintendent.
That's a little confusing to me than the way this is set up, because if you have the Bolden one taking the lead on it, which is the TA, but they're actually not going to do anything unless the BOS tells them to do it, then that should be reversed. But
This is how it was done in 2008.
right. So that's why it's confusing to me, which I think might be why we're not getting some of the results, because they're going, well, you're responsible. No, you're responsible.
Well, the fact of the matter is neither the town administrator or the Board of Selectmen is paying any attention to this.
Exactly. Because I think they're going, you're responsible.
The purpose of completing this is to get their attention.
Yeah.
And we may or may not be successful.
I agree. I agree.
So for
As
now,
long as we're not putting Lori in the middle of it, I feel bad because Lori is maintaining this and seeking answers to a lot of these things. And then inadvertently, you don't want Lori in the middle of that exact thing.
She's not even listed on the PSF 3s or 2s or,
Right. Some of the other things.
Planning department. Some of them she's listed on, but I'm like, yeah.
Lori is our liaison to the town.
Mm-hmm.
The reason she's doing this.
Lori works in the same building as the town administrator. So it's not unusual for her to communicate with the town administrator on a regular basis about a variety of things.
Right, I get that.
A handful of items on this list that a town administrator, implementation leader can certainly be a topic of a conversation between Laurie and the town administrator. We can then update our implementation matrix, then send it to both the selectman and the town administrator with Rich's cover letter, and then go on to the next topic in our agenda, which is whether we should be meeting every other month or quarterly or every 6 months.
Yeah.
And maybe what should happen is we'll finish up what we've been doing. Rick will send the information to the selectman and the town manager. If you get down through the list, there's 107 recommendations, of which 85% are either completed, ongoing, or underway. By any anybody's imagination, to me, that is a successful program, and it's due to the work being done by the various boards and commissions in the town. So they take
Well-
what is in this matrix seriously, and they're working on it. So once we get our information out to them, my suggestion would be we could probably meet every 6 months to do a gradual update and let Laurie spend some of her time working with the planning board and the other boards on more immediate matters. Without getting tied up with who should get it or who shouldn't get it, let's just give it to them, set our agenda, and move on.
Well, I don't think it's clear, but okay.
And I think a possible outcome of this is that the Board of Selectmen decides that this master plan, which was done in 2020, you know, is as complete as it's going to be, and that there may be a need to develop a new updated master plan at some point in the future, but our committee did its job, provided its function, provided these updates, and there may be not a need for this committee to continue to exist once we finish this. So I think ultimately we're gonna have to decide, we have to keep meeting till we finish these updates and get this to the select board and the town administrator, and then we have to see what kind of response we get.
Right.
You know, I know that Jonathan Ray a couple of times has said at select board meetings, he thinks there are some committees who outlive their usefulness, and this is one that he's mentioned.
Or lost their purpose. That's the other thing.
Yeah, and so maybe the reason he's not attending is that he thinks that, you know, we're not viable anymore. I don't know. That's a discussion he and I can have at some point. But I think we need to finish what we're doing and get this off to the town administrator and the select board and see what their response to it is.
Yeah,
Then we can decide.
basically hand it off to the towns, the boards and committees that really should be picking up some of the weight of their duties. Yeah.
So anyway, so we've decided to stop these updates for tonight. We'll pick up with the PSS4s and the transportation, and hopefully by then, you know, I'll have enough information on what's going on with housing. We can do the housing updates. And then it'd be nice if before the end of the year, we got this all completed and got it off to the select board and town administrator.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to mention one thing, Rick, sorry, that John Ray is now the chair of,
Mm-hmm.
so that may play in a part. Maybe your conversation is a little easier or harder. I don't know what that answer is, but just want to make sure that everyone knows that he is the chair now.
He's the chair and he's also our liaison.
Correct. Thank you.
So let's just spend a minute on, you know, there's been a suggestion to meet quarterly. I was going to suggest anyway that we, you know, take the summer off. So the next meeting would be in September, which would be sort of a quarterly time frame. So for now, we could decide to meet in September. And then at that point, we could decide to meet again in December, or if we're close enough to finishing this thing, we might decide to schedule another meeting fairly close to after the September meeting so we can wrap up all the updates, get the cover memo written, you know, get it approved by the board here, the committee, and get it off to the select board before the end of the year. So I guess the next thing is people agreeable to schedule the next meeting for the third, well, it's the third Thursdays we meet, right? So it'd be the third Thursday in September.
September 17th.
That seemed to be acceptable to people.
That's fine with me.
So let's plan to meet September 17th without deciding how much frequently we want to meet. Let's decide, I think, to see if we can get all these updates done and something off to the administrative and select board before the end of the year, which means we may want to meet again, you know, fairly soon after September to finish this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll just see where we are after September's meeting. And we'll put on the agenda for September, finish PFS, transportation, and housing. Hopefully we can get all that done at the end of the September meeting, and then I'd be ready to write a cover memo, which we could review.
Sounds good.
We'd have to call a meeting to do that review of the cover memo. All right, so that'll be the plan. So now the only thing is, you sent out 2 sets of minutes, Lori, but I think we reviewed the February minutes at the last meeting. So it's just the April minutes we have to.
It was
Hold on.
December 18th, were never voted on.
They were never voted on. So we had December and April. Those are the 2 that we have to vote on.
Yep.
Okay, so Lori did send us the December minutes. Are there any other changes or additions to the December minutes that we need to discuss? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the December minutes as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Hang on for a minute. I just need to find my list of names. Brother. Taking the master plan apart and
Of the participants, or
yeah,
I think I can see that. And maybe not. Do you want me to read them?
Yeah, if you've got the list of names, why don't you call them off and then I'll just say, and each person can vote when your name is called off. Go ahead.
Okay. I can do Fran Backstrom,
Aye.
Rick Leaf,
Aye.
Lori Connors. Oh, never mind. Paul Cacciatore,
Aye.
Jean Kennedy,
Aye.
Judy Boyle,
Aye.
Jen Tolman,
Aye.
Leslie Harrison,
Aye.
and Millie Milton's and I.
Okay, so the December minutes are approved. Next item of business is these would be the April minutes, right, Lori?
Yep, April 16th.
Are there any changes to the April 16th minutes that were distributed before this meeting? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve the April is the 16th?
So moved.
Okay. Is there a
Second.
second? Okay, Millie?
I.
No. Read off the name.
Oh, okay. I, Fran Backstrom,
Aye.
Rick Leaf,
Aye.
Paul Cacciatore,
Aye.
Jean Kennedy,
Abstain, I was not at that meeting.
Judy Boyle,
Aye.
Jen Tolman,
Aye.
Leslie Harrison,
Aye.
and Millie Milton's and I.
Okay, so the April minutes are approved as submitted. Is there any business to be brought before this great committee tonight?
Nope.
Hearing
Nope.
none, can we, by acclamation, agree to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
I claim.
Okay, we acclaim. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for staying late tonight.
Night.
Appreciate it. We'll get together in September. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good
Thank you.
summer.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Rick.